Welcome into Fishbowl Sports. My name is Chief here, and joining me today is Bear. LSU women's basketball is trending upon the right foot here, basically, and the men are kind of stumbling. We're gonna get through all that here today. Ask all your comments and concerns. Bear and I are here to break it down. How are you doing tonight, Bear?
I'm good, Chief. I'm good. I'm currently in at work here in Pecos, Texas. It was a balmy 26 degrees this morning. So
Oh, nice and
got up
chilly.
to got up to 60 and we're projected to have a wind chill of 1 this weekend. So yeah, really looking forward to the weather.
I'm glad that you brought up a 1 degree wind chill because that's like what we experienced. We were out there at the Independence Bowl for UL in Houston a couple of years ago in 2022. We went to the Independence Bowl and it's like 3 degrees. I remember like sitting there, I'm like, why did I do this? I'm freaking crazy. Why am I out here?
Yeah,
But
you
it
were
was
questioning your life decisions at that point.
I couldn't feel my feet in my boots walking back to the truck.
Oh, been there.
Yeah, that was a rough one to say the least here. So with that being said, though, we'll talk about the men. Unfortunately, let's start with the bad, then we'll get to the good here, and then we'll kind of um, sprinkle in some like allude to LSU baseball and softball, our preview show that we're gonna do next week. So, with that being said, how you feel about LSU? I mean, not how you feel, but like LSU men's basketball. What is the one thing that you believe they need to completely change this stretch around for themselves?
A new coach.
But
I mean,
for McMahon the state head coach, like
at this point, like I mean, the talent development has just not been there, and I mean, I said in the comment, I mean, it's a combination of an IL issue, and it's a combination of just the coaching staff not developing the talent that's there available. Like, this is year what 4 of Matt McMahon, and we're in the same rut. We haven't turned the corner. We're supposed to. We're 1-4 in conference play. Like it's the window is like almost closed on this season as far as what they can accomplish.
yeah. So, what you think about all this? Like, do they? You said NIL money. Do they need more NIL money? Like how much more is enough for that? You believe that LSU men's basketball because according to the NCAA rules and guidelines, schools are only supposed to give out 20 million or whatever. But they find ways around it. I mean, like let's look at the football season here. I mean, we were talking before we got on here. You said that LSU's transfer portal is they probably about 40 something million right now that you think. But what you think about all that coming up?
Well, I mean, as far as how much money it'll take, I mean, however much is needed to build a championship, not championship. At this point, we just need a competitive roster, and it's just we're not getting it, and we're not utilizing our talent, and the talent's not being developed like it should be. So I mean, at this point, it's got to be a coaching issue.
Yeah, I think at that point it probably is right. Like you want these guys to be developed, and you can have all the talent in the world. They gotta have somebody to develop it and put it in the right spot to be able to withstand all that stuff here. So, with that being said, are the men capable of making a run toward this year to maybe save Mac McMahon's job? What will it take to save his job at the end of the season?
Well, they're obviously going to make the SEC tournament because every team in the SEC makes the tournament regardless of record, which I think is dumb, but that's another discussion for another day. It's a participation trophy type deal, but I mean, they were supposed to. I mean, the goal was to at least get into the NCAA and to get into the big dance, March Madness, whatever you want to call it. It goes by different names. And being 1-4 in conference play uh is not like we as I said last week and the week before there and during the preview show that for them to be able to even sniff making the NCAA tournament, they had to win 8 to 9 conference games. We're at 1-4, and we just coming off an 18-point loss to Florida. Like that's if you can't beat the bad teams in the league and get blown out by the good teams, like you're not competing. I mean, the goal for man to save his job was, like I said, was to make the tournament. But at this point, I think that window's closed.
Well, so I'm not ignoring you, Bear. I'm just updating all y'all in the book of the face here.
Oh yeah, you good?
I'm just sharing all the group stuff so everybody here, more LSU fans, can jump in here so we can get their bites and takes of what's going on here. So yeah, hopefully they will join and we'll have some conversation going on here. So I'm going to talk a bit more about the portal side of things here. LSU's big roster they got here. They got that great edge from Ole Miss here, that officially signed with the Tigers today. So you saw what he did against Miami. He was able to get there in the backfield and really go after Carson Beck during the college football playoff for Ole Miss, of course. But this roster and this addition, I mean, a lot of LSU fans are excited, but I'm always the one to temper expectations kind of downward because I know you can see what people have done at different places. You know, environments are different, schools are different, right? You go with different. You know, I don't like to say this is a national championship contending team, boom, right here, just to give everybody that kind of influx coming in, right? That you're gonna have all this problem and like this can be solved overnight and that kind of thing there. Do you think that where does this they're like they're the number one they're the number one transfer portal class according to 24/7 sports, and I think on three has them at number one as well. Anyway, do you think that that puts them at a national championship contending level, maybe not even that, college football playoff edition level?
Well, I'm gonna lead this off by saying that all this noise that people have been talking about, oh Lane Kiffin, this, he's the bad guy for leaving Ole Miss in the middle of a playoff run, whatever. I mean, he can't obviously be that bad of a guy if he's already gotten like 7 or 8 of the players that he had over there to transfer to LSU, the wide receiver, this defensive end, offensive lineman, a linebacker for starters. I mean, he can't be that bad of a guy for all these guys to want to come and play for him at LSU. But I mean, obviously, the bar's been like I don't think the bar's really been raised any. Like we knew that this roster was going to have to be rebuilt from the inside out with the offense starting at the offensive line. So, I mean, I think it's still the expectation is still to make the college football playoff next year, and then from there we'll see where it goes. But I mean that was the expectation for this past season, and it's still the expectation is to get in just to get in, and all you got to do is get in, and you never know what happens. Look at Miami. So
So I guess I'll ask this question too. How many years are we giving coaches now? Right? Like, are we gonna give them? Why is it saying not published? Actively, there it is. So, how many years are we giving coaches now?
I
Like,
mean,
are we still good with 4 years? Are we still good with the 4 years of giving coaches adequate opportunities to build their roster? Now, I'm not saying it's a bad idea to get rid of your coach for 2 or 3 years here. But are we
no,
at this age of where you saw Indiana, right? They were able to put together one of the most experienced rosters in all of college football with no five-star prospects at all. And to go on not only to get into the playoff, be undefeated, and just go through all these teams and win here. Is it more about stability or are we more about addition? What do you think, Bear?
obviously the transfer portal changes the game. So like, Lane Kiffin is the transfer portal king. Apparently, he's earned that title when he was at Ole Miss and now at LSU. So I think you have to give him at least 3. because transfer portal, kind of changes the game. You bring these players in, they start learning the playbook. They get into spring practice and the spring game and everything else. Four used to be the standard because of just the fact that you get them in as freshmen. You put them through the weight program, the nutrition program. You build them up. They practice. They wait. Train, and basically buy their time. Or if they're just that good, they'll start playing immediately as a freshman. But with the transfer portal now, like you can basically grab guys, grab kids, plug and play. Like so, I think three is the new four as far as for the leash of how long a coach gets.
Yeah. So I think that's just kind of the way it is right now, and just that's just the way it is. It's gonna be kind of tough to see what is going on and what is what basically at this point. So that's all, stuff we got to all figure out and stuff like that. So what is needed to be in that situation to get all this stuff going here? I just think that I think we should still get them 4 years. I think that is the principle that we need. 4 years of just even if it's bad, even if you get your 2 bad years starting in. Granted, not be a great start at all, but you got to give these guys time and stuff like that. And I know like they like to jump the gun and stuff like that, but it's not the best thing to have happen for your program at all. So, um,
No, considering what we're paying these coaches, you probably need to give them 12 years
yeah, talk about right. I mean, like the
to get the
buyouts are
buyouts
enough to
down.
are just so much here. So that's something you don't want to have to go through constantly, year after year after year, of you just paying these coaches and stuff here, buyouts after buyout after buyout. At some point here, that's why I think NIL is a big bubble. I think that a lot of these schools will end up popping the bubble. Will probably be G6 schools more than the Power Four, but at some point you're chasing a golden egg at some point, and not every there's only one golden egg. Not everybody can get that golden egg, so that's kind of it's gonna be rough out there in the next couple of years for these schools here because these revenue streams are gonna dry up. But there's a cap at some point that we're gonna be hitting, and that's just where it's at. Like what that cap is, we don't know, but we're gonna find out one day, and it's gonna be really rough on this college athletics as a whole here,
Well,
because now we got
just
schools like the Washington quarterback, Duke's quarterback Mensa. He's going through a lawsuit right now with Duke to keep him over there, where he wanted to go to Miami, and that's in the courts and stuff. And it's gonna be a lot of
yeah,
like litigation and legal process of fees and stuff. So that you're gonna see more of that. This is gonna be more commonplace than what it is here. But they signed you signed a contract, you gotta honor it basically. And that's how it is here. Whenever you sign up and you ask someone to do a service for you and it's in a contract, you gotta, it's detailed right there, like, look, this is what this is and this is how it specifies here.
yeah.
Let's
I
do it.
mean, I hate to say this, but the way that NIL is going, like it's basically gonna get to the point where it's only the Big Ten and the SEC because those are the schools that have those are the conferences that have the biggest donors and the biggest market cap as far as for TV deals. And then the Big 12 and the ACC will just get left behind unless they can somehow catch up. But I
I
just don't
mean,
see them being able to
I've
keep up
actually
with
toyed with the idea of Big 12 and ACC maybe merging.
merging to a
That
super
could put,
conference.
I don't know what you would call the conference. I don't know what it would be because Texas Tech's got enough capital to hang with the SEC. Um, I think they got enough capital to hang with the Big Ten. I think they have enough there to battle that out with them. SMU's right there in Dallas. They have a lot of big time donors over there too.
And they've
Um,
always had big time donors. That's always
yeah,
been a big time program.
uh, it's It's just like which schools are going to survive what? That's the question I think all of us are trying to figure out, right? Who's going to be there at the end to, make it through? Or are we
Well,
all just going to be sitting here wondering what's
you
going
could
on, right? At the end of the day.
you could take SMU and Texas Tech and Baylor and Arizona State and whoever else is in that area and just make it the Southwest Conference again. Just bring back the Southwest Conference.
Maybe so. Maybe you got the Arizona
You
I
can
mean,
throw
not
UTEP in
Arizona,
there if you
Arkansas.
want. Throw
Arkansas
UTEP in there if you want. Yeah, but I mean UTEP right there in El Paso. Hey, make them a member. Bring back the Southwest Conference.
could very well happen. I mean, history is made to be history is made to be repeated, right?
Hmm.
Might be edging back in those days here at some point here. We might get rid of conference championship games. I mean, they always didn't exist. I mean, the SEC championship games been around since 1992.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
with the way that this season went with the games not with the games not mattering, we conference championship games might be by the wayside here soon.
yeah, that could be a thing. And they got this current thing going on with the Big Ten and the SEC. Big Ten wants to expand it to 24. SEC wants to keep it at 12. So, um,
Make
I
the
think
BCS
so.
great again.
I'm gonna say a hot take since I know LSU fans are frequent on here and stuff, because the podcast and stuff. But uh,
16 minutes, 32 seconds. Chief with a hot take.
timestamp that, right? So I've seen a lot of SEC fans always like, "Oh, we won the most national championship in the CFP era." You got to put a little asterisk next to that, just a little bit one, because NIL didn't become a thing until June of 2021. So whenever you get 2021, Georgia's only won two national championships. Okay, they won 21 and 22. Big Ten's had three different teams win it, and they won the last three: Michigan, Ohio State, and Indiana. Now, so the SEC dominance is over with. I don't think
Yeah,
there's much. It's over with. I
it's been
I just
1,100 days since we've had an SEC team win the national championship. Like that's okay. Hey, they can have it. Big Ten can have it, but they'll never catch us in baseball. They'll never catch
they
us
will
in
never.
baseball.
Baseball is a whole nother level here. Big Ten really struggle. They're not as great in baseball. You can't think of any like
No,
yeah, like it's
now softball is
they got the
across the
two money
board, but
sports. They got the two money sports figured out: basketball and football. That's kind of the mo around here. But like Louisiana sports in general, I would say, like the state, our biggest sports that we like is football number one, baseball is number two. We have a lot better of a baseball atmosphere than we do for basketball. Par none. That's nothing
I
against
mean,
Kim Mulkey and all them. I know women's basketball is really good right now at LSU, but we're talking about like historic tradition. It's LSU baseball, UL baseball. Tulane's even have good baseball teams. Nichols and Southeastern both have good baseball teams. McNeese, we all have good ball clubs. Like Louisiana Tech made a regional a couple years ago. We do have good, solid baseball teams. That's for Louisiana. Baseball is number two, I would say. What you think, Bear?
yeah, everybody, all of those except Northwestern State and Grambling and Southern, those are probably the three worst teams in the state.
Yeah,
But LSU baseball's led the nation in attendance for like the last what is it, 12 years or something like that.
it's been
So
a
I
long
mean,
time. I'm
and
about to say 20 years. It
it's
seems
not
like
even it's not even close when you look at the numbers. It's like almost like it's like 200 to 300,000 more, or 200 like 100,000 more than the next closest team had than the last season. I mean LSU baseball like 300 and something thousand people last year, and the next closest team was only like 150. So like, which was actually Arkansas, I think. So I mean it's not even close, and that's okay. The Big Ten can win their little football national champions all they want, but they come holler at us when you have one school that wins 8 national titles in baseball. Then you can enter the room.
all right. So let's go back to LSU men's basketball here, real quick. Here, I know you don't want to talk about it, but here we go. Saturday, they're
Oh
playing
boy.
at number 20 Arkansas. I think they're going to drop that game. Arkansas's net
Oh yeah.
rankings 20, RPI 22. They're having a good year in Fayetteville. Just
Another 20
it's not
point loss.
to keep things concise and short and everything going. I think they dropped that one. Mississippi State, they might get a win against Mississippi State. Mississippi State's not net ranking is 96, RPI 112. So I'll give the Tigers a win against Mississippi State, though. That's my prediction for the next two games. What you think, Bear?
A loss to Arkansas, and I mean they lost to South Carolina and Texas A&M, so they don't lose to Mississippi State too. Why not? So 0-2 the next two games.
So to give LSU fans some, their net ranking right now is 50. Their RPI is 73. So they're
That ain't
in
gonna cut the mustard.
they're in a position where if they get wins against Mississippi State, if they can beat South Carolina, which is their next game right at Mississippi State, you're kind of looking at a little bit more. You might be able to get a chance to maybe sneak in the tournament if you can pull off an upset against a higher caliber team. One or two of those will make a big difference here, which, it all depends on if it's road wins or home wins or whatever else here. So to configure that, like if I had to pick a team to get a win against, would be a really good thing for them. To steal one, I'd say, and so their next like top 25 team after Arkansas is Georgia. Then they got Alabama, but they get Georgia and Alabama at home. So if they could steal one of those games at home, that might be enough. I would like to take the Alabama one more because their net ranking is a little bit higher right now. But you're gonna want to get the better of those two. Whoever has the higher ranking out of those two teams, whenever they get to play each other or whatever else. But hey, if you can go out and win a couple of games, you'd be all right for yourself though too, to really move up in
Yeah.
that selection committee's eyes there.
And Georgia's got that guy that likes to crash the board. So I mean, they play really physical. I don't think LSU's gonna. They don't play physical enough for Georgia.
Bear, is LSU gonna get Will Wade to come coach for them next year?
Well, that would be nice. I mean, considering what he did, that's all legal now. So like, I would welcome him back with open arms. But I don't know. He just signed a deal with NC State. They hired him for McNeese. I don't know. I would love to see Will Wade back, but I mean, I don't know. At this point, to go to Dale Brown would probably be a better coach than what we got.
So who you think LSU would hire to replace Matt McMahon? Like if
Oh,
they're gonna
Lord, I
finish
don't
this in
know.
the season.
Well, you're not gonna get you're not gonna get a high a big caliber name caliber coach like a Calipari or uh what's his face over there in Auburn or Houston or uh Arkansas, or Georgia or whatever. But I mean, so you have to go the mid-tier route again. But I don't even know. I haven't even seen a list of names yet who would. I mean, you don't have the money to pay a big caliber name coach. So it's just I don't even know. I hadn't even seen a list of names. I guess I better start looking.
Yeah, you got to start getting the name before you even start thinking about replacing a coach. Let's start talking about LSU women's
Yeah.
basketball now. A little bit more happier times on the show for sure. At Texas A&M and Florida's their next two games here. I think they'll take care of business with both these teams here. Their next big test, because big wins against Oklahoma and Texas,
Yes.
huge win.
Huge.
Like that, they are on. They've been on a tear since they dropped their first two SEC games. Hey, they got it clicking because they beat Oklahoma by a good chunk there. They were able to shoot very well in that game. A 19-point win here. They really took advantage of the free throw opportunities. They got Oklahoma in some foul trouble, that's for sure.
That's
33 free
good.
throw attempts and 29 they made. That was the big reason why they won that basketball game. Oklahoma only shot 12 from the line. Free throw line, they made 8.
So it's
So,
literally almost like 2-1,
yeah, that's right there. That's
almost
a
3-1.
21. That's a 21 point swing right there. Because LSU
Yeah,
shot less from the floor than Oklahoma. Oklahoma was 26 of 71. LSU was 29 of 68. Oklahoma shot 34 3-point balls, made 12 of them. LSU shot 9 but made 4. So they were able to shoot from beyond the arc better than Oklahoma did, but they did
yeah,
have
but that
less attempts.
that fit- that that 50% shooting is kind of alarming because that's not going to cut it against South Carolina.
Yeah. But if they can keep teams getting their free to the free throw line, that's gonna be one to see here. So they do play Texas again. Uh, they got A&M, then Florida, then Arkansas, then Alabama. That's their next four. Alabama's not no team to sleep on though either. They got a pretty good ball club themselves, being
Hmm.
ranked top 25 at number 23. So that's something they're going to deal with here when they get to it. But right now, I like looking at the predictor to kind of see where they're going to be at here. So let's see what it says here. It's got LSU finishing 26-4 on the season, 12-4 in the SEC. Now it's starting to get a little bit more aligned with what it will say. It's probably going to have a loss to South Carolina. I'm thinking it's got them losing to Texas, which is fair. There's a loss to South Carolina, and it's got them winning out from that point on. It's got the next two losses at number 4 Texas and at home against number 2 South Carolina. So I mean that's fair. You can split the games against Texas here. Um,
You weren't even supposed to win the first one, so I mean, hey, we'll take it.
yeah, I mean, and they would end up with a RPI of 15.
That'll probably get you a number two seed.
Yeah, I don't think they would be a number 1 seed. I think that you have to get in that
No,
top 10. I think.
you gotta have a top 10 RPI for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. They look more at the net ranking, which right now their nets at 5 right now. So it just depends on like Texas is at a 3 for their net ranking. South Carolina's net ranking is a 4.
If you beat Texas and South Carolina, and I mean, obviously that goes up. So,
If they beat Texas and South Carolina, they're going to get a number 1 seed. I think, depending
oh
on
yeah,
what happens
I
in the
mean,
conference tournament. Like if
depending
they
on
win
what,
those
yeah,
two games,
conference championship, yeah.
I mean, I think even if they wouldn't even win it, they would and go deep enough in it, maybe get to the semis or something. They probably lock up a number 1 seed right there. I don't think they would have to
I
win
mean,
the conference tournament to.
if you knock off those two and then win out, like you don't even have to. All you gotta do is
Oh,
just
there's no
show up
debate.
and play the first game.
There's no debate at that point whether you deserve to be a number 1 seed or not. I think it's just at that point you're just good to go basically at that point.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you don't have to win a game. You just show up and play the first game. You don't have to win it to make. You don't have to make a run in the conference tournament.
Yeah, that's gonna be one to see there. I do think that LSU women's are looking very good here. Flau'jae Johnson had a great game against Oklahoma. Um,
Yeah, didn't she have almost have a triple double or something?
yeah, I think she almost did. I know she had a double double.
Yeah, she had a double double for sure, but she was like one or two away from a triple double. So hey,
Yeah, great game performance.
yeah, we know that's what it takes for them to win is to the offense has got to revolve around her. I guess she's moving her to the point now. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the other ones. Like whenever it comes to brightest, when the brightest stars be shown, that's when you need to start stepping up and stuff. So that's part of what needs to happen there.
Well, I guess she either finally just kind of phased out Jada Richard or just took her off the floor because like her Jada Richard running the point was just it was not cutting it. Like this team seems to flow better with Floje running the point.
Yeah, I agree. They seem like they get good, better rhythm. I would say they're more rhythmic rhythm, or is it?
More
Yeah, I would say they
rhythmic.
have
Yeah,
better rhythm with Flau'jae next
yeah.
to play their faster solo. To go look at and see as we go further along into the season. But South Carolina is their biggest
Well,
adversary over the
would
years.
would
They got to win that game.
yeah. But with Floje running the point though, it takes a lot of pressure off the back end of the court, off the back end of the defense in the back court. Like Kate Koval, it allows her to get in there and do her thing. So it definitely helps, and it takes a lot of pressure off of you know your two bigs basically.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna have our LSU baseball preview show next week.
Whoop,
That's
whoop.
gonna be I asked you see this last year, Bear. Um, we gotta start talking about the word dynasty. You know, the second LSU baseball dynasty could potentially be happening if they win it. I would say within the next 3 years. I would say
Oh,
that
did you not read what I shared the other day, what I posted the other day?
I
Like,
didn't I didn't read it.
uh, so, uh, where we in 2026? So, if they do it this year, it'd be awesome. But I mean, it could wait till next. Well, I mean, they have to win it next year and the year after. But we're in 2026, so we're like 29 years, almost 30 years since LSU went back to back in '97 and '98 and won the national championship.
Yeah,
So they this season with the number one transfer portal class and a number two recruiting class, and with everybody coming back, I mean you're gonna have a whole new pitching staff. But these guys pitched a lot last year, so and supposedly Will Schmidt has turned a corner, and he's supposed to be one of the ones that is looking like to be in the weekend rotation. But I mean, we'll save all that for next week. But I mean, with them, they have the opportunity to win back to back for the first time since '97, '98. So I mean, this season could be something special that we know. But I mean, as far as for dynasty, like you won two national championships in the last 4 years. I mean, you're technically ahead of Skip Burtman's pace because it took him 4 years to win one. So I'm excited to see what's
I
going to
think
happen.
so. It's. I think we're kind of getting to the point where like with college baseball and it's hard to compare eras, right? I think you know when Bertman was around, it was Gorilla Ball.
Oh
Those
yeah,
bats,
the balls were
uh,
light, the
they
bats were
fly
light.
off them bats. They go deep.
Yeah.
And now you have a little like last year's LSU baseball team wasn't like the 23 power hitting LSU baseball team. They hit some home runs, but they were a little bit more balanced. They had more. They had the pitching really carried them because they had 1A and 1B with Ellison. That regard there. Um, Small ball is kind of more of a way they play it now, but you're able to build a team a lot quicker these days with the portal. So like it's would Skip Bertman have had better success if he had the transfer portal at that point on? Now they could transfer back then,
But they just
but
sit out.
yeah, but you had to sit out for a year. They don't have that anymore. Um,
Well, I was just gonna say, here's the thing. Bertman won his baseball championships with like 90% Louisiana talent. I mean, there is some Louisiana talent on Jay Johnson's teams, but a lot of these kids are from out of state, like mainly like Curiel from California, Milam, New Mexico,
yeah,
Chris Stanfield, from Alabama. So I mean, nothing against that. It's just that Louisiana has always produced good talent in baseball. But let me ask you a question here, Chief. So if Derek Curiel hits, let's say if Derek Curiel goes for 14 to 15 home runs with him playing center field, and if he has like 98, 97% tile defense, does that make him an automatic lock for a Gold Glove or for a Golden Spike or whatever they call it?
what was his error rating again?
Like if he's in like a almost near perfect, like 97, 98% with 14 to 16 home runs, does that, because he could very well hit 14 home runs this year. He's gained a lot of weight.
Yeah, I think with that, I think at 98%, I think he would make it for sure. I mean, it's really hard to get at those high numbers like that there too. Um, I think at the 98% fielding rating would be the one that would be able to get him a golden, glove award for sure. Be a
Or
lock,
golden, I think they call it a
golden
golden
spot.
spike. I don't know what they call
Yeah,
it.
and they change the names every single time I look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with that, I think he'll be in a really good spot there. So, and him putting on the weight, like it's all the powers in your legs when you play baseball, man. Like that's where your power comes from whenever you're batting and
Yeah,
stuff. So, uh,
I've seen I've seen some video clips from like Mikey Matuk on his podcast, Mike Up. Like he's covering LSU baseball a lot, obviously, and like he's convinced that Curiel could hit 14 home runs this year. Stephen Milam could hit 14 home runs this year. So like this team, he said, this team is built more on power and speed than they were last year. They won games. They weren't really a power team. They won games by putting pressure on the defense. They had enough speed where on a ball that was hit to the outfield, that was usually a single. They could go first and third, put runners on the corners, and
yep,
put pressure on the defense that way. But this team this year, from what he's saying, is built on power. Like there's several guys that could hit at least 10 home runs this year, and that potential in the lineup.
yep. So I mean, we're gonna see, right? We're gonna see when all that stuff comes down. Now, I don't want everybody to get so excited with the beginning part of LSU schedule because it looks pretty. Baseball looks pretty weak here, but that's typical, right? When they get into conference play, it usually racks up, and if they drop a conference series, everybody starts freaking out. But it's a
Or
long
lose to
season.
Northwestern State in a midweek
In
game.
Northwestern State, we're gonna be talking about that one until we see that again. Oh, by the way. I did buy tickets to go see UL versus LSU at T-Moore Field. That game, from when I last looked at it, is sold out at the Teague. The Teague is gonna be rocking in a midweek.
Oh, of course. I have to find out when it is, and I might have to like climb the wall in center field or something to be able to watch the game. But I would love to be
So
there.
at the Teague's kind of an interesting one. I don't know if you've ever been to the Teague,
I've
but they
never been.
got
I've never
like,
been.
wait, what?
I've never been. So I don't. I've never been to any UL game whatsoever.
Okay, so they have the pine trees lined up all the back over
Yeah.
there. Well, they have houses that live back there. Okay, that's actually they got no outfield bleachers or anything because it's right up against the track and field stadium. There's like a little bit like a gap you could walk in between there, but it's not much. There's no one that really can go through there. Um, so they have these people they call them the rooftop people because they'll get on top of the roofs of their houses and watch the baseball games.
Hey, I'm about it.
So maybe you can go befriend them. Y'all can go watch the baseball game from the top of the roof.
Maybe so. We'll have to see. So yeah, I just like I said, I'm gonna save the rest of it for next week. I've been kind of preparing for the show because LSU baseball's, besides football, is my favorite thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So, but just to kind of give you a snippet of what we're looking at this year, we'll save the rest of it for next week.
All right. So thank y'all for tuning in here to this episode here of Fishbowl Sports here. We're entering the 10 o'clock hour. So that's will be all for us here. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us and tuning in here. We got a couple of y'all uh, you know, tune in to us tonight. So thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a great and wonderful day. We're gonna see y'all here next time here on Fishbowl Sports. We hope you have a great and wonderful day. We'll see you here next time here on Fishbowl Sports. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.
Have a great night and try to stay warm this weekend.
Oh, it's gonna be cold this weekend, so yeah, bundle up. Hopefully, it doesn't like freeze too bad where anybody's pipes get messed up or anything. So
And
hopefully
no
that's all
water
good.
and everything else.
Yeah. Have a good night, y'all. Stay
Good
warm.
night. Stay warm.